Oh, so it looks like Legendary and Warner Brothers have reached some form of resolution, I guess you could say. This was over on the Hollywood Reporter a few days back. I'm really limited, by the way, just as an FYI. I'm limited on how many videos I can release in a day. And I also wanted to wait and see whether there was anything else that actually came out about this, because they're saying they're nearing a deal. And I was like, great, okay, I'll leave it across the weekend and hopefully something new will develop. It hasn't, so now I'm reporting on it now. But this is the latest. So Warner Brothers Legendary, they're nearing a deal to resolve the clash over Godzilla vs. Kong. And Dune. There's an update on Dune here as well. So, negotiations of Dune remain ongoing. But if they make a deal with Godzilla vs. Kong, the Dune theatrical release or HBO Max release, that'll all be interwoven with that. Mark my words. Make no mistake. It'll all be part and parcel of it. They don't just have one thing on the table here, right? That's dumb, myopic way of thinking. If they're looking at this and they're nearing a resolution, everything is nearing a resolution. So we'll hear about it in due course, of course. That was bad English. Anyway, it appears that Godzilla vs. Kong will be roaring for Warner Brothers after all. Now, I think this is a shame. I really do think this is a shame. Now, there's a few reasons why I think that. It's mainly because, does that now negate the future prospects? Will Toho renew the license? Will Legendary be able to afford to renew the license? Now, I get it. There's a lot of people that want to watch it from the comfort of their home. Great, no worries. That's fine. Simple mathematics show that if you do that and you're a big fan and you don't go out and then buy it elsewhere or whatever, it's going to lead it to ruin because you can't get the profit. You just can't. It's an impossibility because it costs so much money. And you can't get that from HBO Max. It's just not. Warner Brothers are using these all as loss leaders. And what better way, what better movie to be a loss leader than a movie they didn't fund? Godzilla vs. Kong, as well as Dune, was funded 75% by Legendary. So it cost them nothing. They don't care. This being a loss leader to them is like a drop in the ocean. It's not important. So I do think it's a shame. I genuinely think it's a shame. I would love to see this series continue. I'm a big kid at heart. I'd love to see the Monsterverse just grow and snowball. And I think out of all of the companies as well, Legendary have been the smartest. No, don't get me wrong. I know that people have their doubts and their detractors or their detracting factors with the movies and things. I get it. But if you look at what Legendary have done from the ground up, right? They've released the movie. They started releasing prequel comics, sequel comics, tie-in novels, children's books, merch. They're really building out the Western market for Godzilla. And that's nothing but positive. And it's really smart. You look at that by comparison to what they've been doing with Disney, right, and Star Wars and things like that. And yeah, it might not be a fair, direct comparison. But I'm not comparing them directly. But one's more of a success than the other. Let's put it that way. One at least has more fans on board. Less controversy around it. Yeah, people don't like the movies here and there, but the people that buy the books love them. So anyway, whatever. I think it's a shame. I'd love to see it, but never mind. So anyway, it appears that Godzilla vs. Kong will be, with Warner Brothers after all. The studio is nearing a deal with Legendary Entertainment with respect to the release of Godzilla vs. Kong, sources tell the Hollywood Reporter. An agreement means that the parties are close to averting a potential legal confrontation over Warner Brothers' surprise decision to put its entire 2021 slate on its HBO Max streamer on the same date that the film opens up in theatres. Warner's unprecedented December 3rd announcement caught all talent and filmmakers off guard, and Warner's is now engaged in negotiations with dozens of parties seeking compensation for potential loss of profit participation. That's the thing. They have it on all sides. Warner Brothers is in it almost seems like a lose-lose situation for Warner Brothers, and I don't really understand it. Well, I do. I'm not an idiot. It's all to boost HBO Max stock. It's a financial game. To them, that's all it is. So it's a massive shame. And like I said, they're fighting it on all sides, literally every single side. And you've got filmmakers saying they're a joke. They're getting hate all across the board. It's staggering. Now, continues further and says that the 200 million plus Godzilla is one of 2 legendary films caught up in Warner's surprise move. The situation is more complicated for Dune, though the parties are said to be moving close to an agreement on that project as well. Filmmaker Denis Villeneuve has written passionately about his desire for an exclusive theatrical release, and Legendary is backing him in that demand. According to a knowledgeable source, that film is set for an October release, meaning that theatres may once again be operating as millions are vaccinated. And that might actually be the case. The UK is now 2.5 million have been vaccinated in, I don't know, like a month or something like that. But they're also on track to vaccinate up to 2 million a week now. So the high possibility is that at that point, you know, the hysteria should be over. Right? And I use that word, and I know that'll rub a few people's backs up the wrong way. But at that point, that is scientific herd immunity. Please, God, don't delete my channel, fucking YouTube. But that would be herd immunity reached at that point. So it should be open. And then at that point as well, like I said, the hysteria should have come to a close. We should know that this is just endemic, right? It's just something that we have to live with. So hopefully, come that point, people will go back to theatres. Look, the moment theatres opened up, I was there, and I'm happy to go, and I get that there's people that won't be. But if Godzilla's in the theatres, you mark my words, I'll be going there to support it. At the very, absolutely. And it's not just that. Remember, when you're supporting a movie, you're not just supporting the movie, you're supporting, the theatre chain, the people that are working there. Everything has this massive knock-on effect. It's just big dominoes. It's just a big circle. And I tell you what I would rather do, right? I'm perfectly healthy. I'm not in the age range that is all bad, etc., etc. I would much prefer to go to the theatre to support, at the very least, in my mind, a local theatre chain and local people, rather than just sit on my arse and support AT&T, because that's all you're doing if you watch it from home. And also, you're minimising the chance and the prospect of Godzilla getting a sequel. And that's my stance. I get that there will be people that can't or won't, and I get it. But that's my personal stance. Hopefully that will resonate with a few people at the very least. Let me know if it does. So anyway, according to a source, conversations regarding various theatrical windowing approaches are ongoing, and it remains unclear which option will be acceptable to Villeneuve. Another potential issue, it appears that Warner's may have been using Dune images to promote its streaming service without approval. What the fuck are you doing, Warner Brothers? What are you doing? But this is like copyright 101, mate. What are you doing? You bunch of morons. Look, I want to support companies, but you make it really difficult when you act like a bunch of plebs. Anyway, a spokesperson for Legendary declined to comment, and if Warner's gives Dune an exclusive release, this could set a precedent, allowing others, such as Matrix 4 filmmaker Lana Wachowski, to demand similar treatment, which they don't want. As talks continue, it is unclear whether Warner Media will be able to hold the line on its day and date strategy to bolster its streaming service. Remember, they're the only ones doing this at the moment. What if another company decides to do it? They choose their windows accordingly. Who knows? They might have to change it, move it, release. Who knows? It's all over the place. But anyway, Wachowski is said to be adamant about an exclusive theatrical run. Unlikely, though, because that's already been announced that it was going to be on streaming. So, Legendary was considered the likeliest of Warner's financing partners to pursue litigation following the studio's surprise decision, because it financed 75% of Godzilla and was prepared to accept $225 million plus Netflix offer for the film that Warner's blocked. Unreal. Legendary could have argued in challenging the Warner's decision that in unilaterally putting the film on its own streamer, Warner Media was self-dealing, which it kind of is, but Netflix's November bid effectively set the price for Godzilla, simplifying that negotiation. Legendary is still negotiating with talent on Godzilla, but that is not expected to derail a deal. The movie will keep its May 21 release date in theatres, including IMAX, as well as HBO Max. Legendary will release the film in China. Look, who knows what's going to happen, but it does seem to indicate at the very least that maybe there's some money involved in this, and if so, good, because at that point there's a chance for profit and a chance for continuing the series. So go and watch it if you can in theatres. Support local people around you. So, like, let's put it this way. You talk about money going into people's pockets and things like that. If people are out of jobs, especially in the UK, you are going to be paying for them to be alive, whether you like it or not. Because that's what happens in the UK with our universal credit system. Your tax pays for other people. So you might as well go to a theatre and at least get something for someone's employment, rather than your tax just going towards it regardless. Anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please do let me know down below in the comment section. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.